If you've been following my channel, you've probably seen this video where I showed you how to change the neckline on your sewing pattern into V-neck, halter neck, and cowl neck. Now in separate videos, I'll show you how to sew these three designs. I'm gonna start with the halter neck top, with gathering around the neck and a long neckband, which you can tie it at the side or front or just leave it loose. And if you're new to my channel, hi, my name is Nasrin. I design sewing patterns and you can find them on my website, needleeyepatterns.com. And here in my YouTube channel, I share videos on how to transform your sewing patterns that you already have at home and make new designs with them. Okay, let's get to sewing. We already made the front pattern for the halter top in the last video. Just add seam allowance to it and it's ready. Now we have to work on the back pattern. On the neckline, measure 3 cm going in and mark. Now draw the armhole. And to ensure the armhole sits flat on the body without gaping, we need to close a dart here. Draw a line squared to the center back to the middle of the armhole. Cut the paper, but make sure the paper is still attached to the center back. Now measure 1.5 cm below the cut line and overlap the two pieces. Now redraw the armhole and cut it out. Now tape the pattern on a big piece of paper. First, draw the center back. Then add the seam allowances all around the pattern. And cut it out. Now we need to make pattern for the facing. From the armpit going down, measure 7 cm and mark. Now on the center back, measure 17 cm, then draw a curved line connecting the two marks. 10 cm on center front and 7 cm from the armpit and draw the curved line. Copy the curved line, side, armhole, center back, and neckline. Draw the grain line parallel to the center back and label the pattern. Same for the front. The front facing will be cut on fold, so draw the grain line squared to the center front and label. Now we're ready to cut. Front, back, and the facings. Now, I'm not going to fuse the facing because I like the fabric to drape naturally on the body. Instead, I use fusing tape and only tape the armholes. Place it 1 cm away from the edge on the wrong side of the fabric and press. Same for the back. Also the center back. Now place the front facing on the front, good side touching good side. Line up the armholes and pin and sew them together. Now, after sewing, I'm cutting some V-shaped notches along the armholes. Now line up the back facings with the back pieces, good side touching good side, pin, and only sew the armholes. Now flip the front and we need to understitch the armholes. Fold the seam allowances over the facing and stitch close to the seam. Same thing for the back. As you're sewing, keep checking the seam allowance, making sure it's sitting under the facing. And that's how it should look. Now line up the center back, pin, and sew from the top going down and stop 5 centimeters above the edge of the facing. After sewing, notch the fabric exactly where you stopped stitching. Just make sure not to cut past your stitch line. Now flip them to the good side. Poke the seams out and press. On the front, line up and pin the neckline. You can also trim these corners if they are poking out. And switch your stitch length to the longest and stitch along the edge. After sewing, pull the thread to gather the fabric. Until half of the neckline matches this measurement on your pattern. This is after you create the armhole and before you transfer the dart to the neckline. Then just tie a knot with the thread for each side. And the front piece is ready. I cut a rectangle that is 1.5 meters by 8 centimeters for the neckband. Fold it in half and notch the center. You also need to cut a piece of fusing, but before that, measure around your neck, but leave some room and don't make it too tight. Cut a rectangle from your fusing, same length as your neck measurement by 8 centimeters. Place the center of the fusing on the center of the neckband and press it with the iron. Now, mark the measurement of the neckline that you measured on the pattern on each side of the center point. Now line up the center back with the edge of the fusing and mark. Same for the other side. Now fold the fabric in half, good side touching good side, and pin along the raw edge. And this is how you sew the band. Do not sew where you marked for the back and front neck. And it should look like this. Now trim the corners. Now cut some notches where you have the marks. Just don't pass the stitching line. Before you flip the band, open the seams and press. Now flip the band through the first opening. You need to be a little bit patient here. Take your time and just pull the band out of the hole. When one side is out, use a pin to gently poke the corners out. Now, from the same opening, pull the other side. Don't pull it from the other openings because you might twist the band. Now, give it a press. When you get to the openings, pull the raw edges out and press them flat. Now grab one of the edges, fold it inside and press. Now place the front on the table, good side up, and the back next to it. Make sure the armhole is sitting towards the front. And the other side of the back, make sure the good side of the fabrics are facing up and the armholes are facing each other. Now place the raw edges of the neckband on the front and back. Line up the edges and pin. Just make sure to pin the loose edge of the neckband to the top and not to catch the folded edge. Now, when you're sewing, you should keep the folded edge out of the way and only catch the loose edge. And it will look like this. Now push the neckline inside the neckband. Make sure the folded edge of the band covers the stitching line completely. And pin. Now we're going to stitch in the ditch and making sure to catch the folded edge on the other side. Bring the needle slowly down. Make sure it's right on the seam. Backstitch first and sew. And that's how it will look. Now have the front good side up, open the fold of the facing and lay it flat on the table. Place the back on top, good side touching good side. Line up the facings together, line up the armpits and pin. And line up the sides and pin. Same thing for the other side. And sew them from the top to the bottom. After that, now line up the center back. The two facings together and pin from the top to the bottom. And sew. And this is how it will look. I serged the back seam, the bottom of the facing, and the side seams. Also, I hemmed the bottom for 1/2 centimeter and done. Hope you like this halter top. Next time, I'll show you how to make a cowl neck and a V-neck top. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and see you next time.